Many believe the Great Flood was merely about human sin, yet ancient texts reveal a darker truth, a cosmic rebellion, forbidden knowledge, and monstrous giant hybrids. These Nephilim were not just myths. Archaeological echoes from ancient Sumer to the Levant suggest a forgotten, terrifying era where these towering beings ruled over mankind. Long before earthly civilization, a celestial realm existed in unending splendor. The Creator's light illuminated golden towers, touching the heavens with pure, flowing divine energy. Angelic hosts, known as the sons of God, stood united in perfect harmony. Their luminous forms radiated purity, their hearts devoted completely to the Creator's glory. The atmosphere hummed with celestial melodies, a symphony echoing absolute peace. At the center rested the Creator's brilliant throne, radiating a magnificent light beyond mortal comprehension. However, within this flawless sanctuary, an unprecedented shadow began to stir. A single angelic heart wavered, silently sowing the devastating seeds of an unthinkable cosmic rebellion. In the profound stillness, a whispering doubt crept into this angel's mind. Thoughts turned inward, questioning the divine path and transforming blinding light into dark defiance. Drawn by this subtle discord, other divine beings gathered. The rebel leader promised newfound freedom and ultimate power, igniting rebellious flames within many disillusioned immortal hearts. The once united celestial realm began to dangerously fracture. Every immortal soul faced a monumental choice: remain in peaceful harmony, or follow the seductive call of rebellion. In shadowed secrecy, the rebel numbers grew substantially. Yet, among the faithful, unwavering loyalty burned far brighter than the tempting allure of the spreading celestial insurrection. Growing bolder, the multitudes gathered openly. Their leader promised an independent kingdom, entirely free from the Creator's will, causing the heavenly harmony to drastically falter forever. With one final, thunderous declaration, the rebel vowed to overthrow divine rule. The heavens trembled as pure light violently clashed with an overwhelming, corrupted dark shadow. The unprecedented battle shattered the ancient peace of eternity. At this cosmic precipice, the rebel leader stood resolute, ignoring the desperate pleas of the faithful angels. A dark vision emerged, a future where raw power ruled supreme, where fallen beings would ultimately rise to be worshipped as literal gods among mortal men. The Creator's presence reached out from the throne, offering one final beacon of hope. Yet, the intoxicating allure of power decisively tore at the rebel's soul. With one irreversible step, the choice was sealed. The celestial realm wept bitterly as light faltered, giving way to the chaotic storm of the Great Rebellion. The shattered heavens fractured completely, torn violently apart by the sheer weight of treachery. The rebellious angels fell endlessly into creeping darkness toward an unknown new world. The pure celestial breach slowly began to close behind them. The descending fallen angels hurtled downward, leaving the glorious light behind for a brewing, chaotic storm. Below them, an untouched earthly world waited in absolute silence. It was entirely unprepared for the cosmic storm of rebellion that was rapidly approaching its fragile surface. Slowly emerging from the celestial breach, the fallen finally descended. Their once radiant and pure wings were now permanently tinted by the creeping, ominous shadow of defiance. Their dark purpose was clear: conquer what was previously forbidden. Primitive humanity watched in both awe and paralyzing fear as incomprehensible wonders suddenly filled the earthly skies. With a deafening, terrifying crash, the rebel leaders scarred the earth. The very ground shook violently, bearing witness to a being caught between divine light and shadow. Rising slowly from the massive crater, they were no longer bound by celestial light. Instead, these exiled beings felt newly empowered by the deep, intoxicating earthly darkness. Humanity stepped forward, drawn by morbid curiosity and sheer terror. The rebel leader stood tall among them, his voice impossibly calm yet overwhelmingly commanding to mortal ears. "Do not fear," he declared with absolute, chilling authority. We have descended to bring forbidden knowledge, immense power, and a glorious new order to your primitive world. Trembling uncontrollably, the first among humanity knelt in complete submission. It was a remarkably quiet act, driven equally by blinding fear and a desperate, foolish, earthly hope. The fallen entities stood perfectly united, their arrogant gaze fixing upon vulnerable humanity. Having crossed the ultimate boundary, this pristine earth was finally theirs to brutally claim. The heavy silence of the heavens was replaced by human whispers. Defying the Creator's will entirely, the fallen angels deliberately broke sacred laws, uniting with mortal women. From these unholy, forbidden unions emerged the terrifying Nephilim. These monstrous giants were born with highly unnatural strength, a dark, living legacy of the ultimate cosmic defiance. They grew swiftly to a genuinely horrifying, unmatched size. The earth literally trembled beneath their heavy feet, and humanity's initial marvel quickly deteriorated into pure, suffocating terror. Reaching their full, terrifying stature, the towering Nephilim became undisputed giants among mere mortals. They stood as living, breathing monuments to the violent rebellion of their fallen fathers. The natural earth itself groaned in profound agony beneath their oppressive presence. It was completely unable to bear the unnatural, overwhelming weight of these brutal, towering beings. Using their unmatched, terrifying strength, these colossal hybrids began to utterly dominate vulnerable humanity. They ruthlessly bent entire mortal populations to their cruel, unyielding, and arrogant will. As the fragile balance of power violently shifted, the giants' might knew absolutely no bounds. They trained exclusively for brutal warfare, destroying everything in their savage path. Humanity was firmly bound in absolute crushing submission. They desperately offered their hard labor and fragile lives merely to appease these towering, merciless overlords and survive another day. The tyrannical Nephilim soon commanded massive armies of enslaved humans. With brutal strength, they constructed towering, monolithic cities designed to arrogantly pierce the pristine celestial heavens. These arrogant giants shaped the earthly landscape purely for their selfish ambitions. They showed absolutely no regard for the delicate natural balance or fragile mortal lives. Those brave few who desperately dared to resist were met with merciless, overwhelming force. Their quiet defiance was instantly crushed beneath the staggering weight of giants. Blinded by excess, the Nephilim genuinely believed themselves invincible earthly rulers. Yet, hidden deep within the darkest shadows of despair, humanity secretly began plotting their survival. Far above, the celestial heavens were plunged into deep mourning. The perfect harmony of creation was thoroughly broken, and the oppressed cries rose like deafening thunder. The absolute Creator looked down upon the ruined earth. Witnessing the agonizing suffering of his creation and the sickening corruption, profound divine justice demanded immediate action. The ultimate decision was irreversibly made to powerfully cleanse the earth. The sky opened, and the first heavy drops of terrifying rain fell as a warning. The cleansing rain rapidly intensified into an unstoppable, roaring deluge. Rivers violently overflowed, completely drowning out the agonizing cries of sinners as the great flood began. Amidst this absolute sea of worldly corruption, the Creator spoke exclusively to Noah. He was a truly righteous mortal man, chosen carefully for a divine purpose. "Build a massive ark," the Creator commanded with absolute, unyielding authority. "For this earth shall be completely cleansed, and only your faithful household shall be saved." If you found this ancient historical journey truly fascinating, please do not forget to subscribe. It greatly helps us continue creating more amazing, deep historical videos.